When it comes to problem solving, the first step is to understand the problem. So read and reread the problem as many times as you need until you understand what's being asked. Choose a variable to represent the unknown, and then construct a drawing whenever possible. From there, we go into translate the problem into an equation. And this is generally the most difficult part of the problem-solving process. But once we have that done, we would go into solving the equation and then interpret the result. So first, make sure you've actually answered the question, check your proposed solution in the problem, and state your conclusion. Here are some of the common words that are associated with the math symbols needed to write equations. So when it comes to the plus, some of the associated words are add, plus, more, sum, total, increase. For subtraction, there's subtract, minus, less, difference, fewer, decrease. Times, multiplication involves multiply, times, twice, double, triple, product of. Division, divide, divided by, quotient, per, ratio of. And then the equals, well, equals, is, gives, results in, is the same as. There's a lot of choices there. The most difficult one is generally with subtraction, because depending on the wording, you may need to reverse the numbers that you see in your problem. So, again, be careful when translating subtraction. Order is important. For example, when a translation involves the phrase less than, note that you basically reverse the numbers in your in the sentence. So 18 less than W is W minus 18. When it comes to multiplication and addition, it doesn't matter if you get the order wrong because they have commutative properties. Division is generally straightforward. Subtraction is the one that gives you that is the most problematic. So let's write the following phrases as algebraic expressions and then simplify if possible. Let n be the unknown number. So 5 added to twice the number, or twice the sum of a number. So let's see, 5 added to twice means 2 times. Then the word sum means I'm adding 2 things together. The sum of a number and 7 would be whatever the number is, n plus 7. And as for simplifying, you could distribute that 2 through, so 2 times not n and 2 times 7. This becomes 5 plus 2 times n plus 2 times 7 is 14. And then the 5 and the 14 can be added together, and we end up with 2n plus 19. For part B, 5 times a number. Well, 5 times a number is 5 times n. Increased by means addition. Ratio is another word for division, so the ratio of 12 and 7. So 5n plus 12 sevenths. As here, the sum of a number, that would be n. Sum means you're adding a bunch of things, so I'm adding the number, half the number, and 5 less than the number. So whatever the number is, minus 5. And so we have n and half n. That's 2.5 n's, which it's best to write that as an improper fraction. So 5.5 is 5 halves, n minus 5. All right, here let's deal with some equations. 20, and then the word is 8 less than 7 times the number. So the less than means subtraction, but I'm reversing the order. So I'll put the minus 8. Instead of 8 minus is minus 8. And then 7 times the number, so 7n. And then to solve this, whatever you do to one side, you do to the other side. So let me add 8 to both sides. So now I'm at 28 equal to 7 times n, and then divide by 7. And I end up with n equals 4. For part B, finding the sum of 11. And so sum is addition. twice the number is 2 times n. Gives is another way of saying equals -5. So subtract 11. We're going to have 2n is equal to -5 minus 11 is -16. Divided by 2, we'll have n is equal to -8. And one last one. Twice the sum. So 2 times a sum. So 2 times something that's being added together. The sum of a number and 4 is the same as, that's the equals, 4 times the number. So 4 times n. And then decreased by 12 is -12. So let's distribute the 2 times n. 2 times 4 is 2n plus 8 equal to 4n minus 12. When it comes to subtraction, whatever you subtract on one side, you can subtract the same amount to the other side. So I'm going to subtract 2n from both sides, and I'm going to add 12 to both sides. So the left-hand side becomes 20. The right-hand side will become 2 times n. 4n minus 2n is 2n. And then divide by 2. So it looks like n is 10.